This painting looks beautiful. Soft petals, warm sunlight, a lavish Roman feast. But look closer, because what you're actually seeing is a room full of people being slowly suffocated. This is the Roses of Heliogabalus, painted in 1888 by Sir Lawrence Alma-Tadema, and it captures one of the most bizarre and possibly horrifying stories from ancient Rome. The man watching all of this unfold is the Emperor Heliogabalus, a teenage ruler infamous for excess, chaos, and behavior so extreme that even the Romans, who were not easily shocked, considered him outrageous. He threw lavish feasts, surrounded himself with luxury, and according to ancient sources, he took pleasure in pushing indulgence to its absolute limit. At one of these feasts, something strange began to happen. From above, rose petals started to fall. At first, it was beautiful, a spectacle, a performance. But then they didn't stop. More and more petals, until the guests below began to disappear beneath them. And according to the story, some of them never made it out. But this painting wasn't created in ancient Rome. It was painted nearly 1700 years later by an artist obsessed with bringing the ancient world back to life. Sir Lawrence Alma-Tadema was a 19th century painter known for his incredibly detailed scenes of ancient Rome. His work wasn't just imaginative, it was almost archaeological. He studied architecture, clothing, and decoration, trying to recreate the past with almost obsessive accuracy. But he didn't just choose this story for its beauty, he chose it because of what it represents. Excess, power, and what happens when indulgence goes too far. But there's one problem with this scene. We don't actually know if it ever happened. Much of what we know about Heliogabalus comes from Roman historians written in the Historia Augusta, and their accounts often blur the line between fact and exaggeration. These historians hated him, writing about his religious controversy and alleged sexual debauchery. He didn't grow up in Rome. He came from the eastern provinces, modern-day Syria, where he served as a priest to a sun god known as Elagabalus. And when he became emperor at just 14 years old, he didn't leave that identity behind. He brought it with him. He introduced this foreign god into Rome and didn't just worship it privately, he forced Rome to worship it too. Senators, officials, the most powerful men in the empire were made to participate in rituals they didn't believe in. Ancient writers claimed he married 4 women, including a Vestal virgin, someone sworn to lifelong purity. They said he surrounded himself with lovers, ignored tradition, and blurred every boundary Rome tried to enforce. But again, we have to ask, how much of this is real, and how much was written to destroy his reputation? Because regardless of the truth, Rome turned on him, and at just 18 years old, Heliogabalus was assassinated. So when later artists imagined him, they didn't see a misunderstood teenager. They saw a symbol of excess. Alma-Tadema doesn't just show a moment, he shows a divide. Look at the people above. They're comfortable, reclining, eating, watching. They gleefully observe as those below become swallowed. Now look below them. The mood changes completely. Bodies sink, movement slow, air disappears. 2 completely different experiences happening in the same room. And at the center of it all is the one person who controls both, close enough to watch, far enough not to feel it. What makes this painting so unsettling is that nothing about it looks violent. There's no blood, no weapons, no chaos, just beauty that's been pushed too far. The same thing meant to bring delight becomes the very thing that destroys. Whether the story is true or not, it reveals something deeper about power. When someone has everything, sometimes the only thing left is excess. And sometimes, that excess comes at the cost of everyone else. And that's what you're really looking at, not just a party, but a moment where beauty becomes suffocation.